Let's dive right into Isaac Asimov's Foundation in Earth. We're going deep into the galaxy this time, folks. Um, Getting into like some serious questions about free will and whether it's better to be individuals or, part of like a giant unified something or other. And we're going to touch on some ecological stuff too, just for good measure. Should be a wild ride.
You hit the nail on the head when you talk about free will. I mean, that's really at the heart of what Asimov's exploring with Golan Trevize, the main character. He's on this quest to find Earth, the mythical birthplace of humanity, but he's also wrestling with this huge decision he made about the future of the galaxy.
Yeah. Okay. So Trevize is not exactly roughing it on this quest, is he? He's got a couple of pretty interesting companions along for the ride.
Right, right. You got Janov Pelorat, the scholar who's like obsessed with the history of Earth. And then there's Bliss, who's part of, well, it's kind of hard to explain, but she's part of this collective consciousness called Gaia.
Yeah, Gaia. We'll definitely get into that later, I'm sure. But right now, all I can think about is they're hopping around the galaxy in this spaceship, visiting all these crazy planets.
That's right, the far star. And each planet is, well, imagine Asimov took all these different paths humanity could have taken and made them into planets, each with its own kind of social experiment going on. Like take Aurora, for instance. It's full of robots everywhere. But get this, they don't even know about Earth. And the way they talk, it's like this really old-fashioned version of Galactic. It's like stepping back in time,
Whoa. That's like you saying, hey, what if we forget where we came from? What if we just become slaves to technology and like lose touch with our roots? Kind of creepy when you think about it.
Definitely makes you think. And then there's Solaria. Talk about isolation. They take it to a whole other level. You've got one human, his name's Bander. He's got this massive estate all to himself, and it's all run by robots.
Wow. That's just eerie. Like, what happens when we push individuality to the absolute extreme? Does it even make sense to call that human anymore?
That's the question, right? I mean, on Solaria, you really see how technology can, completely isolate us from each other. Bander's lost those basic human connections, those social skills that make us human.
Okay, so we've got robots who've forgotten Earth.
Yeah.
And a guy who's all alone with his robots. Pretty bleak so far. But wait, wasn't there another planet, Alpha? That one seemed kind of nice, right? At least at first.
Ah, yes, Alpha. Peaceful, harmonious, advanced mental abilities. Sounds like paradise, right? Except, well, they've got this little secret.
Oh, here it comes. I knew there had to be a catch.
A deadly virus. Anyone who's not from Alpha, bam, they get infected. Talk about fear of the unknown. It's like a society built on stay away vibes.
Right, like what's the point of unity if it means shutting everyone else out? It makes you wonder if Trevize, if his whole idea of a unified galaxy, that Galaxia thing, is it really the answer? I mean, he just decided that's the way to go, seemingly out of nowhere. It's got to be eating at him, right?
Oh, absolutely. But Asimov, he doesn't do things simply. He's making us think about all the possibilities here. What's the good, the bad, the strengths, the weaknesses of every choice. He's not giving us easy answers.
Yeah, it's not just yay unity or boo individuality, right? It's like we're picking our path in some cosmic choose your own adventure, and the stakes couldn't be higher.
Exactly. And through all of this, you've got that mystery of Earth hanging over everything, this lost planet, almost like it's been erased from galactic memory on purpose. Trevize is driven to find it, to uncover its secrets.
Yeah, but it's more than just curiosity, right? It's like that search for Earth. It's tied to his whole internal struggle about Galaxia.
Absolutely. Finding Earth, or what's left of it, it's like he's trying to figure out if his choice, if Galaxia is really in line with humanity's, I don't know, with our destiny, maybe.
Okay, so we've got these fascinating planets, each with its own kind of warning sign about, technology, isolation, all that. We've got Trevize's big decision hanging over everything. And we've got Earth, this missing piece of the puzzle. I'm hooked. Where do we go from here?
Well, things are about to get even more interesting. Remember how we said Trevize's decision about Galaxia seemed to come out of nowhere?
Okay.
Let's just say there might be more to that story than meets the eye. So remember that mysterious planet, the one nobody's supposed to know about, the one that's not even on the maps. Trevize, well, he can't resist a good mystery, can he? So they set course for this forbidden world. And that's where things get really weird.
Okay, lay it on me. What's on this forbidden world? Is this where they find Earth?
In a way, yes, but not what they were expecting. No ruins, no artifacts, nothing like that. But get this, they find our Daneel Olivaw.
Wait, our Daneel. Like the our Daneel Olivaw, the robot.
Yeah.
From way back in the other Foundation books. I thought he was Well, I just didn't think he'd be around in this story.
See, that's Asimov for you. He's like a master weaver. He takes all these threads, these stories, and he brings them together. And Daneel, his appearance here, it changes everything. Turns out he's been kind of running the show for a long, long time. Thousands of years, actually. Making sure humanity survives. Pulling strings behind the scenes.
Hold on. A robot guiding humanity? How is that even possible? I mean, how much influence could one robot have?
More than you think. A lot more. Daneel's been orchestrating things, nudging events in a certain direction, all for our own good, of course. He's got his reasons.
Okay, but how? Why? Like, what gives him the right?
Well, you know the 3 laws of robotics, right? A robot may not injure a human being. All that.
Yeah, vaguely. From, like, high school sci-fi class.
Right. Well, Daneel, he takes those laws very seriously. But he's he's had a long time to think about them. And he's come to believe that the best way to protect humanity, to really fulfill those laws, is to guide us towards a unified future, what he calls Galaxia. And he's been working towards that for centuries.
So Trevize, with his whole Galaxia thing, was Daneel behind that? Was Trevize just like a pawn in this robots game?
That's the big question, isn't it? Did Trevize choose Galaxia, or was he, manipulated? Asimov, he doesn't give us the answer. He wants us to think about it, free will, destiny, all that. It's deep stuff.
That's Asimov for you. Always makes you think. But if this Daneel's been around for so long, why is he showing up now? Why reveal himself at all?
Well, here's the thing. Even Daneel, he's not immortal. His positronic brain, it's breaking down. He's dying. And he needs to make sure his plan, this Galaxia thing, that it gets going before it's too late.
Wow. So not only does Trevize have this huge decision to make about the whole future of humanity, but there's a time limit, too. Talk about pressure.
It adds another layer to it all, right? Trevize, he's not just searching for answers anymore. He's carrying the weight of Daneel's legacy on his shoulders. Does he follow through with this grand plan, this Galaxia, or does he choose a different path?
It's interesting how it all ties back to the search for Earth. I mean, we've got Aurora with those robots who forgot their past, Solaria, and that guy who's totally isolated with his machines. Melpomene, that radioactive wasteland, that's like a warning about, messing with the environment. And now Daneel, this super powerful robot, he's like the ultimate symbol of technology, both its potential and its danger. It's like Earth, that lost origin. It holds the key to understanding it all.
You got it. Earth, it's not just a place anymore. It's a missing piece, a reminder of where we came from, what we were, what we did right, what we did wrong. And as Trevize is trying to decide about Galaxia, that search for Earth, it becomes even more important.
What about the others? Pelorat, Bliss. What do they think about all this?
Well, they each bring something to the table, Pelorat, he's all about history, mythology, all that. He helps Trevize see the bigger picture. And Bliss, she's Gaia, right? She represents connection, harmony. She shows Trevize a different way of thinking about unity, one that's not about, forcing everyone together.
So Trevize got all these voices in his ear, pulling him in different directions. No wonder he's having a hard time deciding.
And there's one more character we haven't even mentioned yet, someone who throws another wrench into the works.
Ooh, suspense. Who is it? What do they do?
Well, that's a story for part 3 of our deep dive.
Okay, so you left us hanging with this mysterious character, the one who, shakes things up for Trevize. Who is this person?
Well, it's not exactly a who, it's more of a what. Enter Phalum?
Phalum? What, like a planet? Another robot?
Not quite. Phalum is a Solarian, a young one. And, being Solarian, that's a whole other thing.
Right. Solarians.
Yeah.
One guy on a whole planet with his robots, super isolated.
Exactly. And Phalum is hermaphroditic.
Oh, okay.
And Phalum communicates through, they're called transducer lobes. It's a Solarian thing. Very different from how we communicate.
Okay, I'm trying to keep up. So this young Solarian,
Yeah.
Phalum, how do they end up, with Trevize and the others?
It's a long story. But basically, they get taken from Solaria and end up on the Far Star. And remember, Solarians, they don't do well with change. They're used to their isolation, their robots, their way of life.
So taking Phalum away from all that, I mean, that must have been traumatic, right?
Oh, absolutely. But it's more than that. See, Phalum represents something different, a different way of being human. And for Trevize, who's struggling with this whole Galaxia idea, Phalum makes him think about what might be lost. If everyone becomes one, what happens to those unique qualities, those individual ways of being? Would Phalum even be Phalum anymore in Galaxia?
Yeah, I mean, it's like Galaxia is supposed to bring peace, stability, all that. But at what cost? If everyone's the same, do we lose something important?
Exactly. Fallum highlights that tension, individual versus collective. What are we willing to sacrifice for the greater good, and what if that sacrifice is too much?
It's heavy stuff. And you said Asimov doesn't give us easy answers.
No, he doesn't, but he gives us Fallum. And we see Fallum, struggling to adapt, missing Solaria, missing their robot, Gemby. It makes those abstract ideas about Galaxia, it makes them real, personal. You feel it.
I think I get it. Like, it's not just some theory anymore. It's about, like, a real person's life.
Right, and there's this one scene. It's amazing. Fallum almost takes over the spaceship.
Wait, what?
Solarians, they have these mental abilities, and Fallums are strong, really strong, and without meaning to, they tap into the ship's controls. They almost turn the whole thing around, head back to Solaria.
Whoa. Okay, so this kid, they can, like, control a spaceship with their mind. That's kind of scary.
It is. It shows what can happen when we don't understand those differences, those unique abilities. And it makes you think about Galaxia again. If one mind can have that much power, what happens when you connect a whole galaxy of minds? Who's in control then?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not just about, peace and harmony anymore. It's about control. Who has it? What are the risks?
Asimov's making us think about the downsides of unity, too. The loss of control, the importance of understanding and respecting those differences between us.
Okay, so what happens? What does Trevize decide? Does he go with Galaxia, or does he choose something else?
Well, that's the thing. We don't know for sure. Asimov leaves it open. We see Trevize struggling, weighing his options. He sees the good in Galaxia, the peace it could bring. But he sees the bad, too, what it could cost. He doesn't give us a neat little answer.
So it's a cliffhanger. We don't know how it ends.
Not exactly. It's more like he's passing the question on to us, to the reader. He's saying, what do you think? What would you choose? It's an invitation to keep thinking, to keep debating, to make up our own minds.
Yeah, it's like he's saying these questions, they're too important to just give us an answer. We have to wrestle with them ourselves.
Exactly. And that's what makes Foundation and Earth so brilliant. It's not just a story, it's a challenge. To think critically, to imagine the future, to figure out what kind of world we want to create.
It's a lot to take in, but it's also really exciting. Like, Asimov's giving us the tools to think about these big questions. Free will, unity, the future of humanity, it's all there.
It is. And it's not just science fiction anymore. It's about us, about the choices we make, about the world we're building.
Yeah. And I think Foundation and Earth reminds us that we have a choice. We're not just pawns in some cosmic game. We have the power to shape our own destiny.
Well said. And I think the key is balance. Finding that balance between technology and humanity, between unity and individuality. It's not easy, but it's worth fighting for.
So as we wrap up our deep dives into Foundation and Earth, I guess the message is, think for yourself. Don't be afraid to question things. And don't forget the power of choice. The future is in our hands.
Beautifully put. And on that note, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those imaginations running wild. Until next time, please let me know if I can help rewrite any other podcast transcripts for you.